Just want to know quickly though, when you went to Agatu, we do know that the people of Agatu asked for more security.
Yes.
Did you deploy?
I did.
Some men there.
I
Are
did.
they still there?
They are still there. You know, but you see, sometimes too, you also have to take into consideration the cost implication. All these things are things that are not unbudgeted for. They are not in the budget. You know, I will not know that I will be deploying maybe about 2 units of about maybe 150 men to a trouble spot, you know, at a particular point in time. If I deploy these men and their welfare is not adequately taken care of, then I'm creating another problem again. You know, the men, it gets to a time and they start asking me, IG, we can't get water, we can't get food, our allowances have not been paid. The state governments, they are facing some, you know, their own financial crisis. I will now start sourcing for money to ensure that these things are done. So instead of us now deploying our scarce resources into taking care of social amenities that will touch the lives of the people, we are deploying it into taking care of.
Boaji, this herdsman situation, many are worried and concerned about it. They want a solution, but there are many questions too. They ask, are they Boko Haram in disguise?
There is nothing to suggest that for now. But what we are doing is that we've been trying to interface, you know, with the leadership of Meeti Allah. The president and the secretary, they've done quite a lot of, you know, partnership with the Nigerian police force. The 2 gentlemen have done so much for, and that sometimes I look at them, I don't know how to, you know, compensate them for what they do, because anywhere there is, when they had that incident in Southwest, the guys, they traveled, they asked me that I should connect them with all the commissioners of police in those areas. They had town hall meetings between the, you know, the headsmen in all the states and the, you know, the locals in those areas, you know, trying to appeal to them that there is need for, you know, mutual respect for each other and cohabitation. So I think that is one area we should try to exploit, trying to reach out to the leadership of these groups. There are people that they actually respect. In all communities, you know, there are usually groups you can identify that they respect. And that is why everywhere I have traveled, the 36 states I have traveled, the main component of my visit has always been, when I speak to my men, I must have a town hall meeting, you know, community partnership, and I identify, you know, non-state actors within those communities and appeal to them for, you know, to ensure that, you know, they live together as one.
You know, in every good community, you must have some criminals or criminal elements. Has there been any arrests made in terms of the herdsmen crisis in some of these communities?
Oh yes, absolutely. We are prosecuting a lot of them in all, you know, just that's what I said. You see, the idea is that when these things happen, they make headline news. When we are able to apprehend them, take them to court, it takes a back seat. Because just as I said, Nigerians, they expect that I should be able to do that. That is my responsibility. I should be able to arrest the people and prosecute them.
Now we're talking about people or suspects. Good thing you're a lawyer. When some suspects are being paraded, how do you ensure that their rights are not infringed upon, you know, in the police custody? And even for those that turn out to be some mistaken, you know, someone who was mistaken to be a criminal, and the police found out that he was just wrongly picked up and even paraded. What does the police do to right such wrong?
Well, parading suspects, you know, it's a double-edged thing. You know, me as a lawyer, I would not want people to be paraded when their identity are, you know, that's why I insist that you have to, you know, put a shield across them. But you see, when you are also in a society that insists, you know, we get agitated whenever things happen in this country. There are other jurisdictions, you know, the United States of America, the United Kingdom, a crime, investigating a crime, they take you 1, 2, 3 years. You know, the investigator is trying to put things together, is trying to, you know, get forensic evidence, like the young man in UK who was always you know, killing women. It was just the rock, you know, the particles from the rock that they used in piecing it together. It took them 2 years to do that. If such things happen in Nigeria, the pressure is always over aching. You know, everybody, they say, what are you guys doing? Do this, do that. So, you know, under such this thing, you want to tell members of the public that we are not sleeping, we are doing something. So these are some of the guys that we have. These are the arms that we have. So I think that is, you know, the concepts behind it. You were talking about custodian violence. We just finished the first inaugural Inspector Generals of Police conference, and that was the theme, you know, that we threw up: custodian violence and strategic management. I was going to bring the former Commissioner of Police in Chicago, Gary. Gary was to speak to the commissioners of police to tell them of the implication of, you know, custodian violence. You remember that in Chicago somebody was shot. It took them about a year. People were asking for the footage and all, you know, this, and Gary was not the commissioner of police then, you know, but he inherited the problem, and it got to a stage where the people could, you know, not accept it anymore. They said, no, we are not in a Hobbesian state where might is right. You know, you must get this police officer who did this, and he must be prosecuted. And the riot went on, and he finally resigned as commissioner of police. These things, they happened. You know, I wanted him to come and talk to them and let them hear of the implication of adopting the custodian violence. And one of the strategies that I have deployed since I became the IG, I have always said it. I said, look, no, life is sacrosanct. No policeman is immune to the criminal, you know, procedures or criminal. So if you kill anybody, any Nigerian, you shoot any Nigerian, I'll charge you to court.
You've been doing that?
About 7 or 8 of them are in court. I've done that. Lagos, everywhere. It's been, and I think that has sent a message to them that I have a zero tolerance for, you know, custodian violence. It's something that should not be accepted, and that is why we have now, you know, procured the testing kits. So I now say, if you are going to go on the streets to patrol the streets or something, our medical doctors could carry out some snap checks, you know, take some samples, your urine test and all those things. Once they discover that you have some alcohol in your system, then I will not give you firearms.
Just quickly though, there's the part, you know, where policemen still take, you know, bribes along the road. How is that part being sorted? Is it on the rise or is it reducing?
It has reduced drastically, and I have done everything I should do as an Inspector General of Police to open up the Nigerian police force to public accountability. I have set up platforms. I expect Nigerians to use those platforms. I have done my bits. So it is left to Nigerians now to be able to, you know, say, no, you can't do that. You can, the crime response unit, stop the bribes. All those things, they are there. There are platforms that I have created for Nigeria.
Have they been effective? Have they been making use of them?
Very, very effective. On a monthly basis, the crime response unit, let me quickly say that the crime response unit is the first you have in Africa. Even the New York, you know, State Department, they have something that is similar. But the reporting time, whenever anything happens, you know, there must be a feedback. I insist that there must be a feedback. So if you report a case to that platform, I expect that they should be able to investigate and call you back and say, this is, you know, the result of our investigation. It's only in Nigeria that we've been able to do that. And the numbers are there, they're in the public domain. So I would expect that Nigerians should be able to exploit, you know, those facilities. I cannot be everywhere. You know, I am here in Abuja, you know, the headquarters. Sometimes they send me text messages everywhere, and I will reply, I'll say, call 0805 700 0001 or 002 and get back to me. And they do, and maybe in the next 10-15 minutes they will say, thank you, IG. I got the platform, and they are working on it. Right. Bribery, as it were, as we are talking about, it's something that is a product of fear of the unknown. And what I have tried to do, my strategic approach to halting issues of bribery and corruption in Nigerian police force, is to ensure that I do things that will guarantee their welfare. The inspectors on rank and file, they are the most, there is one class of people that we have neglected in Nigerian police force. They are the ones who you see on the streets.
All right, well, we'll come back and shed some light, and in addition to one or two more questions, that's when we return in just a moment. Join us again.